Good morning to HOD. Good morning to all. I wish to place on record the congratulations to Computer Science Department, HOD and our team. And I wish Prakash Nimbalkar happy learning to our students training session.
Thank you.
Good luck to all my students. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. So good morning on behalf of Janata Education Society and Vivekananda Institute of Technology. It's my privilege to welcome you all for today's online workshop on entrepreneurship and innovation as a career opportunity. So on behalf of everyone at VKIT, I welcome all the participants, respected principal, vice principal, Dr. D.V. Chandrasekhar sir, and heads of all the departments, my dear students. So today we have this online workshop on entrepreneurship and innovation as career opportunity. So we have with us Mr. Prakash Nimbalkar, so who is assistant professor at Maths Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship. So on behalf of everyone, we welcome you, sir, for the session.
Shall I start or?
So just a minute.
Okay, sure. Tell me when to start. No problem.
So it's my privilege to welcome Professor Prakash Nimbalkar sir, and let me introduce Prakash Nimbalkar sir to the audience. Mr. Prakash Nimbalkar sir is a marketing and communication specialist with over 25 years of experience ranging from sales, media, events, digital marketing, spreading across India and Middle East. So sir has been involved in building brands and scaling operations for both Indian and international brands. Teaching and training being his passion, so he holds Train the Trainer Global Certificate from Dale Carnegie. Presently associated with Maths Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, besides being a mentor and advisor to startups, so sir is an active member and for marketing and brand building, and he has guided many entrepreneurs in this direction. So sir is also an active member of TIE Bangalore chapter, city leader of Germany. So we are very fortunate to have you with us today, sir. Welcome you once again, sir.
Thank you. Thank you to the Institute and the management of Vivekananda Institute of Technology. Thank you, Principal Sir, Dr. Padmanabhan. Thank you to the Vice Principal, Dr. D.V. Chandrasekhar, Madam Vidya, who's been there coordinating with me all. Thank you all for giving the opportunity for this session, which will be a interactive session. My only request to all the students here is that I'll try and make sure that the session is not as boring as you can imagine. Okay, I'll keep it lively, but then some effort needs to be done from your side. Interact, participating all of you to fill it up. You have close to 7 minutes to do it. 5 to 7. There are only 5 questions there, quick and easy, just to have assessment. And also, I keep developing content on entrepreneurship and other areas. So this your email IDs which will sit into the main pool, wherein as and when I develop some content, I can share it with you also as the fraternity, as the student group who participated in this webinar. So that's one more thing. Okay, here is the link for the form. Please fill it up. You have close to 7 minutes to do that, 5 to 7 minutes. Quickly, not much is there. Take your time. Faculty members can also do that. Is the link opening? Or are you people able to open the link? Dr. Vidya, is the link opening?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It is open.
We can't get the link. I'm just posting it once again. Did you get the link? Manasa, did you get the link?
It is opening, sir.
Yeah, no, Mansa has messaged that, sir, we cannot get the link. Should not take much time because you people are quite intelligent. Not much time left. Requesting all of you to finish it fast so we can start the session.
Yes, sir. We can start the session, I think.
Nobody has submitted actually.
Oh.
You have to press submit. At the end, there is a
I request all the students to submit it quickly. Once again, I have posted the form. All of you quickly fill the form.
Okay, fair enough. I think they're taking time to fill it. So in the meantime, I'll share the screen and start the session. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. The screen is visible.
Okay. So today, what we are discussing here, what I'm going to discuss with you and share with you is the entrepreneurship and innovation as a career opportunity for for your generation. You know, so many of you are studying your graduation, and some of you are even planning for post graduation and even further to that. So what are the career opportunities, or how you can mold and take entrepreneurship and take the path of innovation as a career opportunity. How you can take that as an option for enhancing and going ahead with as an option for career. Okay, to begin with, what I'm doing is that I'm going to share a small story with you. You'll be wondering, why is this story relevant for today's topic? I'll come to that later. Let's see the story now. Okay. Now, what we are looking at is, how do we identify and explore opportunities? The story dates back to 1848 in the California village. Remember, the word used there is California village. Yes, in the year 1848, California was not a city what it is today in USA. It was a small village where on one fine day, at a mine where the digging was happening, a carpenter found a yellow substance in the water, and he realized that it's a piece of gold which he found. And he took that and ran to his the supervisor, and he showed him that. He said, this looks to be gold, I found it in the water. Okay, and he asked the supervisor's permission to dig and find out if there are more gold there. So the supervisor said, okay, fine, you can keep the gold, and I allow you to do the digging for the gold, but only after the work hours. So after the your regular work hour gets over, if you want to still work and try and dig and find if there is more gold available, you can do that. So he was very happy and went to his friends and told them that this is what it is. And then apparently what it turned out to be, there are 340 tons of gold buried in that village. As the news spread, California, which was still then a rural place, saw influx of more than 300,000 people, 3 lakh people, who rushed in to dig the gold. And it was one of the largest migration in the American history which happened. Okay, and then the gold rush, the whole process of digging out the gold and everything lasted for 7 years, went on till 1855. Okay, and during the peak, several people died. Some died because of looting, some died because of murder, some died when they overfilled or they overloaded their horses with the gold, which they could dig it out. And then while they were coming down, the horses fell down and they also fell down and then died from there. So there were a lot of things which happened. Now the question here is, who got rich during the gold rush? Was it those who mined the gold, or was it those owner of the mines, or the people who were actually digging the gold? Can anybody respond here with a guess? Anybody here with the guess? Who got rich in this whole process for 7 years? Students, please participate. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. Nobody wish to reply to that?
I request
Anybody?
all the participants to be interactive throughout the session.
Any guesses here?
Who mined the gold, sir?
Who mined the gold? Great. Who was that? I don't know the name.
I'm the professor, sir, Dr. Manjunath.
Okay, Dr. Manjura, thank you. Anybody else? Students community, wake up. That's why I started with the story so that I can wake you up from your sleep. Okay, and now to give you a surprise, it's not the people who dug the gold. It is not the people who are owning the mine. Okay, both of them were not the one who became the rich. Okay, actually, it was a group of people who never found any gold, nor did they try digging the gold. It was the people, those we call them entrepreneurs, who build their businesses, which catered to the gold miners and gold digging workers or laborers, because these are the set of people who understood and realized that the demand for certain materials will shoot up very soon as the digging takes place. Okay, they are the people who sold shovels and horses to these miners, okay, at 50 times the regular price. Okay, because they are the people who set up shops there to do this business. Okay, now guess this one. German and American business man who realized that the miners need a sturdy pair of trousers came there and launched a pair of trousers with extra pocket with rugged material for these miners, and this brand was born. Can anybody guess the brand? The brand is still around there. I think some of you are aware of this brand. Can anybody take a guess which was the brand which was born around the same time, where the specific need was for the miners? Okay, and today it's a cult brand. Very low participation. Okay, this is the brand Levi Strauss. Even this moment, some of you are wearing it. Okay, so this was the brand born out of the necessity which happened, and it is still an established brand all over the world. Now then, there's another New York butcher who decided to open a meat market there to serve the miners, and it turned out to be America's largest meat processing company called Armour, because he believed that these miners, the laborers, require protein-rich food, and he came there to set up the butcher shop and started selling meat, processed meat there. Now, there's one more brand who is owned by two partners, Henry Wells and William Fargo, decided to offer mailing, banking, and transportation. Why these three businesses were thought to be successful at that time in that specific area was that the people who come there either to supervise or to dig, they needed to stay in touch with their families whom they have left and came there in quest of the gold. So they need to send letters to their family about their whereabout and their health and other thing. So that is why they require a mailing service. Those days, phone and mobile phone and WhatsApp was not there. So they needed a mailing service. They also need a bank, okay, safe place where they can keep some of their valuable, maybe a wallet or a watch or any other thing. They can keep it there safely till they decide to go back. And they also need transportation to move either the people, the laborers, to the place to hunt or dig the gold, or otherwise to move the gold out. So this is the company which was found there by Mr. Henry Wells and William Fargo. The company is today over 20 billion. Can anybody guess the company? Very, very active company in most of the colleges here when it comes to campus recruitment. This is the company which is there, Wells and Fargo. They also have an office in Bangalore. If any one of you looking at BBA or maybe some other kind of job, MBA and all, this is one company which comes in, picks up students from the campus recruitment drive. This thing. Okay, now this whole process is called second order thinking. That means not following the herd. Now the entrepreneur who is there actually is looking at something different. He is not just following where everybody is looking at it. Today, look at any company which is there, which is successful startup, successful entrepreneur. They're looking at something different. They're looking at something moving away from what everybody is doing. He tried to innovate. He tried to come out with a different solution for the pain point which existed. Okay, I'll be coming to these various examples later, but to give you a glimpse is look at how Ola, Uber, your Spotify, all other such businesses which is there, your Swiggy and your Airbnb and all these companies, they are based, the entire premise of their business is after having identified a pain point, a particular requirement that they have, and then trying and addressing, that particular pain point with a solution with which they are able to get the customer to into their fold and deliver them with the promise that they have done, and then living up to the expectation, and then spreading the word around and trying to cultivate business and grow their business around that business, okay, around that idea. So that is what is called second order thinking, where they are not following the herd, they are not following what everybody is doing. Find opportunities which will be created due to the existence of the herd mentality. Now what it means is that you need to find out how you can find an opportunity when the whole world or a bigger number is moving towards one particular direction. How will you find out a particular opportunity that can cater to this particular group? This is what these people, these three, for example, these three entrepreneurs or business people have done it. They didn't go searching for the gold. They didn't go, they didn't anyone attempt to dig any gold. What they did is that they found out that there's a big group of people coming to hunt for the gold, and they said, how can you make a business out of this opportunity of the people coming in there? Over 300,000 people, 3 lakh people coming into this California village, try and hunt for the gold. How can you make business out of it? And that is what called is second order thinking. Okay, now this was the story. And now coming back to the startup ecosystem in India, what are we? What is the present scenario that we have the entrepreneurship startup ecosystem? We are third largest startup ecosystem in the world today, recognized. Year-on-year growth in our country is 12 to 15%, which is pretty good. There are some established companies which are not even clocking 12 to 15%. So the startup scenario is clocking that kind of growth. Women entrepreneurs are taking 14% of the overall startup scene. Over 50,000 startups across India have been recognized by Department of Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center, which is there. Total jobs which our startup ecosystem has been creating, has been piggy-riding, propagating, is over 200,000 jobs have been created. Bangalore, the city that you and me are presently here, is listed in the top 20 leading startup cities in 2019, and also ranked one of the world's fifth fastest growing startup cities in the world today. Okay, Indian startups have raised over 20 billion in 2021. As of October, the figure might have gone to 21 or 22 billion. Okay, but then as of October, this was the number that we're talking about. And these are some of the unicorns, which are unicorn, the moment you touch 100 billion, okay, so that is where you get into that 1 billion number that you get. This is where January digits, then you have February, you have April, May, Zeta, and then June. In July, we saw, and August, we had Grofers, CoinDX, Upgrade. September, we saw Vedantu, MPL. Some of the names are familiar to you. October saw Cardeco.com, MobiQuick, Licious, one of the meat processing company, meat delivery companies in India. Then November, we also saw, the couple of other things. We even saw the Myntra, this thing, Nykaa coming in, which was one of the questions in the questionnaire. So all these are leading unicorns for the year 2021. Now, what is entrepreneurship? Coming back, and that's where we begin. The word entrepreneur is derived from the French word called entreprendre. Okay, it means to undertake. That's what it is. An entrepreneur is an individual who take risk and start something new. Entrepreneurship is the process of creating something new of value by devoting the time, effort, and assuming the risk and reward. So the entrepreneur has to assume the risk and reward both as a person who starts their business. Characteristics of entrepreneur: who are the first one is an innovative thinker. He or she is an innovative thinker who thinks beyond, out of the box. Look at some of the companies which have come in to India. Look at the Nykaa, started by the lady who was at 50 or 51 when she started this whole venture of Nykaa, which recently went to a successful IPO, now listing at a premium to what the price, and is one of the very few profitable e-commerce D2C companies, which is into personal care, and also a lot of other brands which are there. Okay, so this is innovative thinking, and that is where if you look at the background and the basis of Nika, which is there, it's a direct to consumer. That means Nika goes on to meet the manufacturer of some of these, most of these products, picks up the stock from them at a discounted price, keeps it with them, and then sells it to you and me. Okay, so the products are genuine. Okay, no fakes there, because these are picked up from the manufacturer directly. And second thing, these are sold at a discounted price by virtue of the fact that Nika picked up a larger quantity at a discounted price from these manufacturers. So that is where it is. So that's innovative thinking. Look at any of them. Look at Swiggy. What kind of thinking is there? Is that sitting at home, even at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock, you can order some food which you wanted. So that's possible to deliver. So that's where, and look at Ola. It's kind of an inspiration from Uber, which is there, but then reaching out to you and me, to women folk for safe vehicle, okay, to elderly people when they want it, the vehicles which are auto rickshaw or taxis which are there. Again, innovative thinking like that. You have lot of such products which are there, a lot of such companies which are there who are into that particular zone. High level of creativity, yes, most of these entrepreneurs come with very high level of creativity. They come out. Yeah. Hello. Okay. High level of creativity, what it means is that you think of a problem and then come out with innovative ideas. That is where, look at Spotify. You have music which you don't need to download. Okay, you can just plug and start listening to that. You have genre wise, language wise, artist wise, movie wise, all that is possible in that whole thing. So there are a lot of them. Look at what is Byju's doing it. A creative solution for a child to go in for additional and supplementary education besides what he learns in the school, in that environment. Design thinking ability. Now you need to work on design thinking. What it means is that come out with solution. Come out with solution, with product or service, which is based, and the basis of this is a particular design which is more customer focused, delivering value to the customers, and then using the technology which is available today. Let it be AI, let it be algorithms, and let it be any other thing. So that's your design thinking capability or ability which these entrepreneurs are providing the solution. Risk taking ability, yes, most of these businesses who are there, the entrepreneurs and startups who are there, they have the ability to take the risk. And look at what happened with the last month's successful IPO of Paytm. There was a gentleman, Mr. Shekhar, who was finding it difficult, 10, 12 years back when he started this Paytm, to even manage a proper lunch. He used to go uninvited to his friend's house for having a meal because he could not even afford that kind of thing. He used to go back to his room, which was a kind of rented house in Delhi. He used to go there in the middle of the night and leave from the room early in the morning so that he does not have to encounter the landlord whom he has not been able to pay the rent. That's where. So those are the risks. But then he had the conviction, he had the belief that he is going to do and take his business to a next level. And look at the successful IPO that they have gone through. That's the risk-taking ability that they have. Desire to take responsibility. Now, doing the business, success or failure, that comes to you. Okay, that is how you do. So you have the desire, you have inclination to take the responsibility of your business. Company, look at Oyo, what happened. The company started with just one hotel coming in on board and trying to liquidate their unoccupied room to Oyo, and then Oyo started marketing that particular hotel on its own channel and got some customer. It was an unsold inventory which was there with that particular hotel. They started selling it. They started offering that at a discounted price to customer, and that is why with one hotel, two hotel, and that is how they grew. But then he also comes from very meager, very middle class family. But then he knew that there is a future here, that there is a business that he can make out of it, and he had the trust in himself and the technology, and he knew that that whole thing will take into a different level. Then you have focus. You got to be focusing on your own business. There will be days, there will be months together which will come, where you other things will be much more lucrative for you. There will be days when somebody will say, forget all that, come and join me, and I'm going to give you this kind of salary and this kind of opportunity. So you got to be focused on what you're looking at. You got to stay put with whatever business that you're doing it. Dedication, there is no 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock or 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock timing that is there. When you are an entrepreneur, then you got to look at you should not look at clock. That's what they say. There are entrepreneurs, there are startups who have gone to the extent of working 16 to 18 hours in a day, and that is how they started, that is how they built and scaled up. And today they are in much more comfortable situation, with a team being created, with a customer set who are there to take their products and the offerings which are there, and the valuation that comes in with that. Flexible and ability to adopt changes. You need to be flexible. You need to be open to adopt certain changes. The technology is one change which can happen. A lot of things will happen. You started with Apple, then you see Android has come in. You need to immediately make sure that your products are available. Your e-commerce thing, your websites are all there. You need to adapt to the social media trends which are happening all around you. You need to adapt to the techniques which are used to do analysis of your customers who are there. Instead of what they're buying, you need to look at it, why are they buying? That is why when you have the answer for the question, why is a customer buying my product or my service, then you'll be able to provide a tailor-made solution, and you can also enhance their experience as a customer of your product. So that's the kind. You need to be flexible to the changes that is happening. Complete knowledge of product and market, you can't. You are not advised to enter into a business which is totally alien for you. You need to at least have some sense of what's the product doing, what is the scene there in the market, what kind of competition is there, what kind of growth in the market, what kind of technology is being adopted in that industry, and how the customers are reacting, why are they buying what they're buying, how often they buy, how much they're willing to pay. All these there is a complete knowledge about the product and market that you are going to enter into. So these are some of the characteristics of entrepreneur which are there. There are certain barriers which are there. Lack of viable concept. You need to know that the first thing that hits an entrepreneur is a viable concept. That means you have an idea, but then is it viable in the market? Is there a set of customer ready to buy that product? If at all there is possibility, you may say, yes, there is a set of customer who are there for my product. Agreed. But then are they willing to pay you a price which can justify the investment of time, effort, R&D, and the entire infrastructure that you're creating? Supposing the cost of your product, ultimate product, goes into market is 1,000 rupees, whereas the customer is not willing to pay more than 500 rupees. You are staring at a huge loss with each product that is being sold. So viable concept means the customer set of customers are ready. Second thing, they are there to pay you a price, which can justify the effort that you're doing. So that's your viable concept. Then lack of market knowledge. At certain times, what happened? Some of the entrepreneurs, what they do is they just enter into a business market for a product or service with very limited knowledge of how the whole thing works. And that's where the challenge comes in. Unless you have a total knowledge about the product, the service that you're offering, the market dynamics, the channels, how they are working, how the manufacturing happens, if there's an import thing happening, all that is required for you to have a detailed analysis. And then only you are advised to take up. So that's market knowledge is also one of the barriers in entrepreneurship. Lack of technical skills, you have to have technical knowledge. And look at what TM is doing. Look at what OYO is doing. Totally technology driven product and service that they are offering. Today, if one gateway crash happens, your entire Paytm system goes for a toss. So you need to have your technological system is so robust that there cannot be any lag. People expect the moment my friend sitting in Bombay saying that I need this money, if I send it, if it doesn't reach out to him in 1 or 2 minutes, my patience is lost, his patience is lost, and then we look at some other option. Oh, it doesn't work in Paytm. It takes a couple of hours for money to be transferred. Then I go for another option. So you need to have the technological skills to look at what the customers are looking at, how you can provide a solution in the best possible platforms and frameworks that you can provide. Lack of capital, this is also one of the barriers with entrepreneurs, is that the capital. There's so much that you can rely on your own capital. There's so much that you can do with your own money. You need support in the initial stage from friends, family, and some other people. And then going on, as the product gets accepted, as you see some traction, as you see some movement, positivity about your business, then you can go in and look at angel investor, VCs, and other such. So capital is always required for your expansion, for your continuation of your business. Lack of business know-how, you really need to know. You have the product information, you have the market information, you have the money, you have the technical information, but you really don't know how to run your business. That's a challenge that you have. You really need to know how to run a business, how to manage the business, right? From HR to the finance part, to the marketing part, to the compliances which are there. Certain times government regulation that comes into picture. Certain cities, certain states in India have got a different regulation from the others. So you need to maneuver those, you need to manage those, and then come out, overcome these things. So you need to have the business know-how, knowledge. Okay, lack of constraints and legal constraints and regulation, which is also the patent, is one such thing which comes into picture. If you're looking for some new kind of product, you need to get patent registered, and you also need to make sure that with your technology that you're adopting, with the product that you are going to come out with, service that you're going to come out, you are not trespassing on somebody else's patent. If that happens, then you are in trouble. So you need to know the real framework of how the legal thing works. There are certain regulations that happen. Karnataka may have a different kind of regulations, whereas Goa may have a different kind of regulation. Delhi may have a different regulation on certain product that you're doing. So each of the state, you need to manage each of the geography that you're getting into business. You need to manage, you need to understand the regulation and try and see how you can fit in your product and service to cater to a specific market. There are risks in business. Entrepreneurs, all risk of capital. Yes, you start with your own limited shoestring budget that you have, bootstrapping that you do, money that you have generated, maybe the savings that you did after working for a couple of years in corporate, or maybe you borrowed from 2 or 3 of your friends who also became co-founder. Maybe you took some money from your parents, okay, and some other family members which are there, but there's a risk of the capital. The money that you invested to go ahead with your idea is something which is always at risk. What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't scale up? That's a risk of capital that you have. That's always there. And the first risk is of the capital that you have. Second risk is of technology. You start working on a product and service on a particular technology, but then the technology moves to the next level. And then if you are not flexible enough to also adopt and move and graduate to the next level where the technology is coming up, that's where the challenge comes in. You will soon be obsolete. Look at what happened with Nokia, Blackberries, and Sony's of the world, even Kodak of the world. What happened? They have not been able to quickly adapt the technological changes that is happening in the field that they were catering to, in the product category that they were offering. So they had no choice but to wind up. So that's where. So risk of technology is always there. Risk of competition, yes. Any product, any idea that you come out with, however new it is, it's a matter of time that your competitors enter in the same sphere. Look at 10 years back, there was only one company which was offering ID, idli dosa batter. Today, if you go to any supermarket, minimum 3 more brands are there offering the same idli dosa batter. But 10 years back, there was no branded one. The ID was the first one to come, or I will say ID was the first recognized brand, which was well-made product, hygiene, taste-wise, people accepted and loved the brand which is there. And after tasting the success, when it started getting traction, when it started getting attention of investor as big as Azim Premji, okay, from the Premji group of companies, he also invested in that company. And then other such investor coming in, as the product started rolling and being available in length and breadth of the country, you have more brands coming in. You go to today's supermarket, there are minimum 2 to 3 brands which are also offering the same product. But then you need to know what value you are giving it, and you need to stand by what you're offering. And that will also make you, go on, successfully satisfying the need and expectations of your customer. So that's a risk of competition which will always be there in any business you do. Today, Amazon is there, Netflix there, Disney Sports Star is there. Today, you have Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, anything, anything and everything, you have competition. So you need to be open, and there is always a risk of competition. Risk of product market fit, which is very, very important. You need to have a product market fit. That means a product that you make, that is product or service for which there is a market existing. And what it means further is that you have your first set of customer who buys this product. They become your brand ambassador. When it comes to, they go and tell other people that I bought this and I am happy with this. Why don't you check this out? So that is where your first set of customer should be happy, and they should become your brand ambassador. They should say, yes, this is the product that you need to test it. And that is where the moment you have your customer propagating your product to other potential customer, that is when you say that you have a product market fit. If you don't have this scenario happening, that means you're sitting and risking the entire product. Risk of customer retention. Today, there's a competition. I have both Ola and Uber apps in my mobile phone, but I seldom use Uber. I always use Ola. But that means what? The Uber has not been able to retain me as a customer, barring certain stray incident or situation where I use Uber instead of Ola. But my first preference is Ola. Okay, same thing between Swiggy and Zomato, same thing between Reliance Jio and Grofers to whichever other thing, Star or DMart, whichever it is. So customer retention is very, very important. How many customers are there who buys your product regularly? So those are the people who are loyal, and this is where the business comes in. If you are actually pitching your business to any of the venture capitalists for raising your fund, the first thing they look at it, how big is your customer base and what is the number which is a regular buyer, who are repeat customer. This repeat customer is always very, very important. Remember one thing, acquiring a new customer is a costly thing for you, whereas retaining an old customer is much cheaper. So that means your profitability will improve as long as you're retaining your customer and making them going for repeat purchase. Entrepreneurship process, there's a simple process of entrepreneurship that we have. The first is idea generation, then you have pre-startup, then you have startup, growth, and then last is exit. We'll just quickly look into these. Okay, the first is idea generation. Now idea generation is where where you have your ideas coming, and it need not have to be restricted with only one idea. You can have multiple ideas. Okay, but you need to evaluate this. That is where your idea. First thing is you need to look at ideas. From where are these coming? Where are the sources of idea? How do we get the idea? The source of idea is your own employees. If you're already running a business, your employees are your best people who will come out with ideas for your next business. Look at what happened with 3M. The Post-it, yellow Post-it that you and me use it. I've been using it for over 20, 30 years. Is again a product which was an employee creation. The Sony PSP, which you and me have been playing. Some of you are still playing. I used to play some years back, the PlayStation, which is there. Again, that is a product invented by one of the employees of Sony because he wanted to give a faster processing game for his daughter. Okay, and that is how the whole PSP was invented. And that is when he went to the his senior management saying that I have come out with a game console and this is what it is. Initially, the idea was not very well accepted, but then when they launched it in the market after a lot of hesitation, and today the PSP is one of the largest contribution of business to Sony. That is where it comes. So some of these products which are coming from employees, Google has got a straight benchmark that 20% or close to 20% of your office time can be spent on something of your own idea that you work it. There's a demarcated budget for that. Nobody will ask you any question. You can devote 20% of your time for your passion, hobby, and coming out with new idea. Your own G Suite, Gmail, all these are the origin of some of the such initiatives given by the Google company. Okay, so these are again, and employees also come out with some of the ideas that comes in. Customers, your customer will also come out with ideas. So I can go on giving example. Your Samsung refrigerator, wherein the freezer is at the base, at the bottom of the refrigerator, the freezer has been put. That has come from customer feedback. The reason why they come is that women folk, they open their vegetable and fruit basket more often than they open their freezer. So keeping the vegetable and fruit basket at the bottom makes them strain to the, and women folk, most after the motherhood, they go through a lot of physical challenges which is there in the growing year. So every time they have to bend and take out that vegetable from the refrigerator is tedious process. So then the idea came from customers. They say that why not you shift the freezer down, because we don't open even once in a day the freezer, but why not you keep the vegetable and fruit basket at an upper level where you just open the door and pick up the vegetable that you need. And that idea was implemented by Samsung, and today it is there in a lot of other refrigerators which are there. So at certain time, customers also come out with some of these ideas, and you need to be open to listen to such ideas which are coming from customer. Channel partners, your own dealer, distributors, and franchisee, they also come out with some of the ideas which are there. They come and tell you that this is what the customer is looking for. Your product is this. Why not you tweak it and come out with this variant, or come out with this additional feature? Customer would like to buy it because some of them are looking for it. They come and share their requirement with us, and this is where we are doing. Certain times this thing also works in a way. Research, yes, you can go in and spend money, but it requires a lot of time and effort and money which is into research. Competition, yes, competition also gives you a lot of idea. You need to look at what your competitor is doing, and then if they are coming out with one variant, if that can also inspire you to come out with your own variant, a different variant to that. That is how it works out. So certain times your competitor also gives you. The next stage is your idea evaluation. Now there you have ideas, then you decide that this is the one that I'm going to go. So you pick up one idea and take that particular idea through the evaluation stage. And that is how you look at entrepreneurship or innovation that you need to create as a career option for you. So you need to take that one idea and make it go through these 5 questions. First one is, what is the product and service? What is it exactly that you want to do? You can't have a vague answer. I'll come out with one backpack which is there. No, there's nothing called one backpack. You need to be specific. Why are you different? What exactly is the product or service that you're offering? Okay, then what is a business model? How are you going to do it? If it is a product, whether you're going to have your own manufacturing, contract manufacturing, import and sell it with your own label, because there are certain products which are available in international market, which are generic product. You import them, put your brand, and then start selling. Is that what? How are you going to do it? And then it also involves how are you going to reach out that product to the market that you have, your dealer, distributor, franchise, exclusive outlet, all that. And what is the business model that you're going? So the business model is encompassing all these aspects of your business. So that has to be there. Then how big is the market? You need to know how big is the market that you are entering into or likely to enter. Let it be product, let it be service. How big is the market? You need to look at internationally what's happening in that area, and then in your country, how big is the market? What is the potential that you have? What is the potential that you have for that particular product or service is there? That shows the lucrativeness of that particular market, of the particular product or service. How to protect the business. Remember one thing, as I mentioned in my earlier slide, the moment you have a successful product or service launch, there will be 10 people entering the same space. Then how do you protect your business from the competition? Competition cannot make your business vanish, but then they will start taking a bite of the already available market. Now that is what a problem. So you need to control, you need to protect your turf. I was growing at 30%, I was going at 20%, but then I need to control. So there are certain companies in India also who are old companies, the brick and mortar company, but they are over 75% of the market share. Can anybody here name one company which is selling one particular product, any product which is more than 75% market share? Wake up. This is a test whether all of you are listening or just kept the mobile on and gone somewhere. Can anybody tell me product or a company which is in a market where they are dominating with more than 75% of the market share. A product which all of you consume almost minimum once in a week, the community, student community. Maggie noodles is one. Amul, which is again a monopoly. Okay, Asian Paints, the big time monopoly. The ink that is put on your finger when you go for voting is again a 100% monopoly market by the company Mysore Paints, which is based in Mysore. So these are the companies which, which are there. They don't need to worry about. Of course, Mysore Paints is a government of India venture, but then you're looking at Asian Paints, Nestle, Maggie, these are the companies which are, Amul, which is sitting with huge market share, and they are continuously with innovation, with technology, they're controlling the market share. They are not letting it slip away. They constantly strive to give value to the customer, with which they are able to retain the customers. How much return on the investment that you're, remember one thing, as you beg, borrow, or steal, of course, I will not say steal, as you borrow money from your investors, angel investor, family, friends, everything, and pull it in your business, they expect a sizable return on the investment that they are getting. So what is the rate of return you are? If you are offering them 1 or 2% annual or 5% annual, they may not be so much interested. That can be generated by their investment in bank FDs, because they are looking for more. Okay, safety of the investment and also return on the investment. These two things are important. So what kind of return on investment that you're looking at providing to your investor? That's also one more question that you need to answer. Startup, that's where, after your idea has gone through these questions, then you go in with your startup idea. First is evaluating the opportunity. You have an opportunity, you have my idea, you're looked into the fighting. Now you need to evaluate that. How do you go about? What is it market? How big is the market? Who are the customer? Who is the first lot of customer? The first thing is that the market can be as big as possible, but then there is a particular focus that you need to bring in the early years to deliver your product or service to that focus niche. Remember, there's an old rule which is still prevalent in the market called 80-20 ratio. That means your 80% of your business come from the 20% of your customer. They are the focus. Look at chocolate industry. That you and me, although I also consume chocolate, or maybe there is a customer who is 70 or 80-year-old, is also eating chocolate, but your 80% of your business comes for the chocolate is between 3-year-old to 15-year-old. That is the biggest business lot that is there. Of course, there are people who are beyond 20, beyond 40, beyond 60, and also close to 80. They also eat chocolate, but majority of the business come from there. Same thing, if you look at any product, most of them will have this 80-20 ratio. So you need to evaluate the opportunity. Where is my 20% of my customer who will give me 80% of business? So that's why developing the business model, you need to develop the entire business model which is there. Like I also mentioned, you need to work out. Now that you have the idea, start plotting that idea in the current situation. Look at what is government offering. Look at what is government regulations and rules which are there. Environment based, process based, rules based, approval based. All this has to go through. Now various stages has to go through. That is where you have your business model coming in. Writing business plan, you got to write your business plan, because your investor who is likely to come on board, the first question he will ask is, what is your business plan? How are you going to deploy the fund, go ahead with the fund, generate the revenue, how you're going to return the money on your fund. Okay, all that is required. That's your business plan, writing your business plan. Okay, next stage of your startup is assessing the required resources. Now remember one thing, the resources here is not confined only to money. Okay, resources here is not limiting to money. Of course, money is also one of the resources, but then your required resources assessing is how much of manpower you require, what kind of machinery you require, what kind of space you require. Do you require storage? What kind of storage? If it is a perishable product, you need to have temperature controlled storage facility. What kind of fleet that you require? Look at Bounce or other such thing, or if you have Ola or any other such, what kind of infrastructure do you require? What kind of investment in the technology that you require? Do you need IT backup? Do you need servers? You need what kind of gateway? Is your business or the transaction based on e-commerce? And that means you need to have a robust website. which need to also take care of the firewalls, another thing which also gives a payment option which can cover all possible ways of making payment for the business that the customers are using. So that's where you are assessing your required resources, and then goes on to acquire the resources. You need to acquire the best of the manpower. You need to acquire the best of the plant and machinery, the land. If you're opening up your own outlet, you need to make sure that the outlets are located in such a way, place where it can, where it can help and smoother your business operation rather than hindering your business operation. So those are acquired resources. Then you have managing the venture, which is where it comes in that since you are a founder, since you are a owner of the business, you got to be the first person who needs to know intricacies of your business, and you need to know how to manage them. You need to know how to go through and wade through or swim through the entire challenges and opportunity that comes to you. Certain time, with the intervention of government, certain new policies that comes in, which will throw a new challenge or a new opportunity for you to get into that. So you need to have that, that ability to foresee what new challenges or what new opportunities that will come to you, and then be ready to grab that. And then comes is your growth stage. And a growth stage is where you launch the product and it is successfully meeting the expectation of the people, and that is where you are moving ahead. Now that is where you need to go ahead with geographical expansion. I'll give you a simple example of Big Basket, which is there. All of you have heard of it since you are all based out of Bangalore. Okay. Big Basket is one such company. They started their business from Sarjapur, Marathalli Electronic City. That's the area of Bangalore from where they started. That is where the original operations happened. It was not even there across India, across Bangalore. Why? Because they were looking at catering to a particular category of people who are both husband and wife working. They don't have to go time to go for their grocery purchase, fruits and vegetable purchase. And that is why Big Basket came. They said, we are catering to this particular category of people where both of them are busy. They come home maybe 6, 7 o'clock. They are tired. They are hassled. They may have still more work to do. So here is an opportunity that they can use the app and order for this thing. Tomorrow morning, it will be available there. Or even if you order it in the morning, and initially they were giving 2 or 3 slots where you can say, supposing you are somebody who comes in early around 3, 4 o'clock, you can take the 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock slot. But if you're coming late home, you can select the 8 to 10 o'clock slot for delivery of the product. So morning you put in the basket, order the product, select the time slot that suits you, and at that time the product will be delivered at your place. So that is where it started in that small geography of the Bangalore city. Then over a period of time, as the product and the idea was accepted, received very good feedback and input, acceptance by the customer, they went across Bangalore. And then from Bangalore, they went on. Today, it is there in most of the big cities across the length and breadth of the country. So that is where your growth stage comes in. You need to expand. Even today, some of Amazon is serving so many pin codes, but there are so many pin codes which are not being served by Amazon and GeoMart, but they're they're striving and working on how to serve those pin codes also. So that is where your expansion come in. Diversify product and service, and that is where you need to keep on going and adding more product. Maybe a variant of your product, maybe coming out with a new product which will add. Look at how Swiggy has come out today. They also have Instamart, wherein you can order, any of the groceries and other thing within half an hour or 1 hour, it will be there at your home. So that is where you come out with additional product. Look at how Ola started. They started with the basic car. Now they added, they added auto rickshaw. They have come out with day hiring of the car. You can even use the Ola car for going out of the city. All these various permutation combination are available under Ola now. So you need to keep on exploring different ways to satisfy and meet the expectation of your customer. Identify target audience, which is very, very important for you, is that you already have a particular set of customers for your product and service. Then what it needs to be to continuously grow, you need to keep on looking for additional customers that can come in, because these new customers that you acquire is always going to give you the additional revenue to sustain. Because remember one thing, as you are growing, competition is also entering the same space. So at that moment, if the overall market remains the same and everybody trying to bite a piece of that particular market, there is a possibility that, the new entrant may take a part of your business. So you will not be growing. So instead of that, what you need to do is look at ways to expand your total overall market. That means identify new customer. We come out with variant of product or service, or whatever way you need to expand the market so that you continuously remain the leader and continue to grow in the new space as well. Analyze the competition. You need to analyze the competition. What is the competition doing? Is there competition which is offering something different, which we are not able to do? Is can we replicate their success? Look at. I'll come back to the example of Nika. It's one of the D2C company and e-commerce company which is running in profit. Okay, Flipkart is not running in profit. Myntra is not in profit. Ajio is not in profit. So a lot of these e-commerce companies, they are not in profit when they are selling all this product. But whereas Nika is in profit, why and how? That is where you need to look at. You need to always analyze competition. What is it that is making Nika earn the profit, deliver the profit to its investor? So more investors will be ready to pool in their money as you are expanding, and there's no way to for you to even bother about financial resources, because you're running profit and more people are ready to join hands with you. So that is where, and also look at it what way your competition doing something different which you can also do it. Build a strong team. As you're growing, you need to keep a tag on your team, because remember them, this team which was there with you at the time of formation and which is also there with you at the growth. If you retain them, it's always good because they know the intricacies of your business. They know your ideology. They know your vision, mission, objective, the entire culture of your organization. So don't let them go. Hold them. That is why the ESOPs and other such kind of things are made, so that the original team, the core team, can be retained. And that is how you build your strong team to go and meet the expectation of the market and use the growth opportunities which are there. Track results, which is again 80-20 business ratio. I've already discussed that. More business online. Look at growth is one state. Today, everybody looks at business online, but then in online also there are different things. I'm not going to cover that, but that comes in digital marketing. Okay, promote business online means look at new ways to reach out the market. Look at new ways to attract the customer. Look at new ways to understand the psychographics and the buyer psychology. Okay, buyer preferences, buyer habits, all that data is available for you to use that, and then reach out to that particular thing, figure out on those analytics which are available for you to grow. Okay, franchise channel development, that's where you have your lens card which is there. Initially they went in through the franchise mode, but then now there are certain markets where lens card decided not to have channel partners, rather than spend their own money into setting up their own operation and their own business. But some companies go the other way. They start with their own outlets and operation, but then over a period of time, if they're looking for big business, big growth, what they do is that they go in for channel development. Add franchisee, add distributor, add multi-brand outlets, and all kind of things. So this will also help you in your growth stage. Last is your exit strategy. How do you exit? Exit means, remember one thing, never start a business as a student, as anybody who is getting into entrepreneurship and business, startup business. Never start a business saying that 5 saal karega, uske baad I'm going to sell it off and go, take the money and go to Las Vegas and enjoy my days there. It doesn't work like that. Because the moment you start a business with the objective of selling out and encashing it, your focus is only on the profit. Your focus is only on valuation. Your focus is not on your customers. Because the moment your focus is there, what will happen? It's a matter of time that your competitors will be able to value better value to your customer with their product and offering services that you have. And over a period of time, your growth will start going down. Your stagnation will come, and then will decline your growth. Because why? Because your competitor are offering better value. So never start a business with the objective of selling out and encashing. Yes, there are ways to reduce your risk, which we are going to discuss. IPO is one which you have seen. Zomato's, Nykaa, Paytm, and all that is IPO. Some of your finance students here, they are well versed with finance term. I'm not getting to that. IPO is as per the Government of India offering. Mergers, you can merge some of your, like what happened with merger, with Paytm, with your Flipkart and Myntra, what happened? Walmart has bought over Flipkart. All that's happening is that private offering. You can offer stakes in your company. Some of the HNIs and a high net worth individual which are there, you can offer this offer. Like recently, one of the question which was there is wherein Priyanka Chopra also invested some money in Bumble, and then recently Alia Bhatt has invested some money in a company called Pool, Phool. Okay, anybody here aware of the company, what it does in Pool? What is the business model of Pool? Okay, to give you a small understanding of that, Fool is a company which started somewhere in up north, Varanasi or some of the temple town there. What they did is that they saw there's a heavy wastage and discharge of used flowers after it has been offered to the gods in those temples. They are discharged into Ganga and Yamuna, creating a lot of pollution. So what this team of Fool originally, what they did is that they said, why not we come out with a process and reduce this, dumping of these discarded flowers into the river and try and see what we can do. So they bought these flowers, they took out these flowers from the temple, and they started putting a process wherein they started using perfumes and agarbattis and dhoop and other such product. And it started getting a lot of traction. Today, the brand is there across the length and breadth of the country, across on various e-commerce platform. And that is where Alia Bhatt's office, which also decided to be part of this particular venture, and that is where she invested money in that. So it's gone in, raised a lot of funding. So it's a future unicorn on the making called Pool. So that's the kind of thing. So you need to have private offering, which is there. Cash cows are something which is there for you. That's your cash cow. Look at ID. The cash cow of the ID company is your idli dosa batter. Of course, they also have vada. They also have parotas and other rotis and other chapatis and other things. But their cash cow is that. So that is also you can utilize and leverage your cash cow for exiting also. Then you have regulation A, which actually works in US and other European country, which is called skeleton version of IPO, a different version of IPO which comes in. Last is venture capital, which you can get into a venture capitalist who are there, offer them a stake in your business, give them stake in your business, and raise money from there. Some of the digital marketing for entrepreneurs which are there, if you're looking at entrepreneurship, and then what are the ways digital marketing for low cost, impressive result, which is very, very much there. You all know, some of you are experts in digital marketing. Digital marketing is very much there. It is what is going to come. Low cost, impressive result, very focused activities, campaigns that you can do, correct and accurate targeting. The reason is that digital marketing does a lot of their activity on algorithms and the analytics data which are available with your website, with your social media options which are there. There are a lot of analytical tools which are there, free tools, paid tools which are there, a lot of softwares which are there which you can use for getting more precise insight into your target customer. Brand building, there are a lot of companies which are using social media for building their brand. Customer insight, as I already mentioned, Google Analytics is one such which is there. HubSpot is there. A lot of other such softwares which are there, which gives you customer insight of what is the customer doing and why are they buying what they are buying and how often do they buy. All that comes in high ROI. Since the expenditure in digital marketing activities are very, very limited, okay, the returns from them generally are very high. Women entrepreneurs, some of you are women who are here, for them, I just brought this slide. I thought I'll show you what is happening with the ride of the sentiments with Nike, successful listing of Nike. Opportunities are increasing because the education level among the women folks girls are increasing. They are participating in all possible education spheres, all possible domains which are there. Risk-taking ability, a lot of women, girls are coming ahead with risk-taking ability. They want to venture into this business. Some of them are very, very successful. Look at what Kiran Majumdar has done so many decades, a couple of decades back. She entered into a totally new business with Biocon, and today is a successful woman entrepreneur that she is. Government support, government is also supporting a lot of these women entrepreneurship initiatives which are there. I'll see that later. Family support, families of these young girls and women are also supporting in their dream, in their quest to create an entrepreneurship and create a brand and then scale up from there. change in social dynamics. A couple of decades back, if a woman is seen working, people used to raise eyebrow. They were not comfortable. But today, those dynamics are changed. They are not there today. Men and women are there equally, going into various fields where even Indian Army has started, Air Force also started accepting women in some of their critical functioning areas. Support to women entrepreneurs. These are the women entrepreneur schemes by Government of India. Annapurna scheme, Bharatiya Mahila Bank business loan, Mudra Yojana. These are from where if you can raise some funding for your initial venture. Orient Mahila Vikas Yojana scheme. Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana is also available for women folk. Dena Bank's Shakti scheme, which is there. Udyogini scheme, which is also there for girls and women entrepreneur. Mahila Udyam Nidhi schemes, which are also there for women entrepreneur. These are some of the successful women entrepreneur that you have. Kiran Shaw, Naika, Falguni Nair, Vandana Luthra. Some of you may be knowing, some of you, the last is Nisaba Godrej, who is the third generation from the Godrej family, which has come in. Okay, now I'll quickly take you in the next 10 minutes is what are the different startup opportunities which are there in various categories. First is startup in finance, which is there. There are some of successful which are there in finance. We call it as a fintech industry. ATM, Razorpay, Policy Bazaar, Instamojo, Ed. These are the one which are there in one of the famous one, successful one who are there in fintech industry. Now, what is the growing? What is the reason for the growth of fintech startups which are there? The reason is availability of capital and vibrant investment ecosystem. The capital is available. The VCs and angel, they are open to investing and financing fintech companies across the board. So that's one thing, that the positivity around that. If you have the demographics, more than 60% of our Indian population is below the age of 35. That's a big one. That's the big man working force that we have. More than 65% of our total population is below the age of 35. That means there's so much potential from this category of Indians who are potential earners. So that's where you have low penetration of financial service. There are financial services which are very I will not say totally 100% penetrated, but then there are cities, towns and villages where the financial services are not as robust as for you and me in Bangalore city. Increased mobile internet access, that is where we call it as the mobile and internet access, thanks to the robust and the government initiative for the internet access in India. We have a lot of smartphone reach which is there, because of which you can make and receive payments on your mobile phone. Internet access is not a problem. So that is where the mushrooming of fintech companies have come in. Advancement technology, we have got the best of the technology available in India with the IT, which is available to you, best of the brains which are there. You see some of the international companies, right? It be Microsoft and Google to recently Twitter, and all these are having the Indians who are heading their entire operation. So that is where the wealth of the, and so our technology is as good as the technology which is available in any other US and European countries. Okay, startups in marketing industry, what is happening in the startup scene in marketing industry? We have Simply 360, EverTap, Zoho, which also went to the US listing sometime back, couple of months back. Then you have Freshdesk, which is there, which is also there, which is again from Chennai. Connect Insight, which is there. What are the reason for growth of startups in marketing? Those of you who are looking at a career in marketing, you are looking at doing something, startup and entrepreneurship in marketing industry. For them, competition is the reason for growth in startup, growth of startup in marketing industry is that heavy competition. You take any product, let it be a mobile phone to the shoe to the watch, anything you take, there are multiple brands. So for each of these market, there are multiple people trying to take a bite of that market. So with that high level of competition, each and every product manufacturer or service provider is trying to see how he can stay relevant, how he can remain in the forefront of, holding the market, holding his own position and continue to grow. High competition which is there, that is why marketing companies which are there, startup, they are there to provide a lot of insight and a lot of support to these companies to stay relevant in the market in spite of the competition which is happening. Improved disposable income, our salaries have gone up, the financial, the earning capacity and the saving has gone up. So that is why the entire, look at it, we are one of the fastest one to start showing positivity after the pandemic which has gone in. One of the robust economy which is there, recovering very, very fast. And I had already recovered quite significantly in the last 6 months after the second wave that we saw in April and May. The last 6 months we have done, we recently did, during Diwali and Dashara, one of the best sales figure. Amazon, Flipkart, and all these online channels have showcased best of the numbers of sales that they had. Informed customer base, the customers in our country are very well informed. That means the access to knowledge, access to data, and access to information which is available because of the high penetration of internet is very, very high. Because of that, the customer is well knowledgeable. He knows what's happening, he knows what he wants, and he's always looking for the specific product that he wants. Brands looking for customer insight. Each and every brand, as I mentioned, they're looking for customer insight. Why is the customer buying the competitor product, not my product? What is he looking for? Amazon uses a lot of this customer insight, and that is where they are able to position and push the product as you start searching for a particular product on Amazon website. So that's a totally different thing, which is coming in digital marketing analysis insight. I will not come to that, but a lot of brands are using these customer insight to look at what is there for them, to how they can serve their customer in the best possible way. Brand activation with limited budget digital marketing, which is robust now. You have social media marketing, search engine marketing, and other such thing, landing pages, websites, insights, analytics, all these things, YouTubes and other things. With limited budget, you can use all of them or any one of them, and then stay relevant, and then get your brand to get activated as and when you are close to your launch or you're close to your growth. Startups in HR, there are a lot of startups which are also in HR. First is Unmind. Some of you who are in HR industry or getting into HR domain, hiring talent, Hire Me, Darwin Box. These are some of the startups which are there catering to the HR industry and various challenges which are faced by the HR professionals. The reasons for their growth is companies looking to screen candidates better. Companies want algorithms and want a lot of the software's help to find out the best suited candidate for their particular position that they need to fill. And that is where these tools come into picture. Adoption of technology in appraisal process. Now, earlier appraisal used to be more human interference, which used to be. Today that has moved to the next level where they are looking at what can be done. Aishwarya, I'll come to your question if you raised your hand. I don't know. So adoption of technology will come into the picture of appraisal. A lot of people, the companies do not want human intervention, human prejudice in appraising a particular candidate, a set of candidates which are there. So that's why they are using technology in this. Employee retention is focused in today. Every employee there is a risk of losing the employee to competition. The best performing employees are always susceptible and open for multiple offers from the competition. So you have a good performing employee, let it be sales, marketing, HR, finance, everything. Chances of he being offered a better salary and better opportunity by competition is very high. So you need to know how to retain. So that is your focus area. So these softwares gives you a lot of insight on that. Need-based learning and training. Training is one such area. Keep upgrading and make your employees relevant to what's happening there. Let it be technological based, let it be whatever way it is there. You need to keep upgrading your employees. Need for hiring right fit candidate. So companies here today don't have patience that I'll appoint this guy, give him 2-3 months of training, and then he start performing. No time. Everybody want a ready-made candidate. So for that, a lot of these tools, softwares, and analytics is important for you. That is where this technology startups come into HR field. Okay, quickly I'll cover this incubator and accelerator, which is one question which I keep getting from other forums of entrepreneurship when I address. You people keep hearing this incubator and accelerator. So a lot of them are asking question, what is the exact difference between incubator and accelerator, which is required by the entrepreneurs, young people like you who are getting into their own startup. First is entrepreneur incubator programs are generally 6 to 24 months. That's the duration. You have 6 months program or lasting up to 1.5 years, 1 year, and all this is a long-term program. Okay, but whereas accelerator programs are 2 to 25 weeks, and mostly these programs end with a demo date. Demo day means you are supposed to give a presentation of what is your business idea or product idea or service idea. How are you going to scale up? What's the value you're driving? What kind of business you're looking at? How is your revenue coming in? What is the model of your revenue in the next 5 years? That is where the demo day comes in. Incubators are generally for early startups, early stage startup, which is into setting up and focusing and bringing in focus to your business and idea. They have not yet started doing business. Whereas accelerators come into growth stage after the revenue has started. So an accelerator, you can join an accelerator, okay, only after you show some revenues which are coming in, your commercialization of your product idea, which comes into picture. Generally, incubators are run by universities, government bodies with a lot of grant. Your own college may be having an incubation facility, which is there, that generally run by these education institute or even private thing, but a lot of government funding comes in. Whereas accelerators are generally by HNIs, which is high net individuals which are there, VCs, venture capital, or family offices. That means they are super rich people and they create their own family officer from where they create accelerator to find out high growth potential ideas, which we can handhold them at the early stage as they grow in their business with the funding of your from your side as an accelerator. Your fund also start to grow, so you get higher returns on the money that you invest in these business at an early stage. No charges in most cases. Incubators don't charge. Maybe they charge for 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees to enroll for them. So traditionally very insignificant or almost negligible charges. Whereas accelerator generally charge 5 to 10% of the stake in your company if they're taking you on board. No funding. Most of the incubators today's dynamics are a little bit changed, but most of the incubators, they don't fund themselves, but they can connect you with the people who have got the ability and who are keen to invest in some of the good ideas. Whereas accelerator generally under 30 lakh, into 30 lakh, it has gone up to 50 lakh, and in some of the stray cases, it has gone into a couple of crores also. But generally, that's the range that the accelerator do it. No eligibility for apply. You can just go into any of the incubators which are there, either in your own college or any other place. They just talk to you, understand what are you working on, and then they take you on board. Whereas when it comes to acceleration, detailed selection process is required. They look at your idea, they look at what you're doing, they look at your future prospect of idea, they look at your customer base, they look at how you are going to manage your competition. All that is seen, evaluated, only then they take you on board. Okay. Some of the common phrases which are there, last 3 slides which are there. Okay. First one is scalability. That's a growth with a repeatable model. That's the word. These are the common phrases which are used in startup world today. Unicorn startup valued at over $1 billion. That's a unicorn which I mentioned in my first slide. Bootstrapping, relying on self-funding. Supposing you're starting your own venture, bootstrapping is what you call when you have your own 40, 50, 10,000 rupees, or maybe your father gave money with a very limited, very small purse that you start with. That's called bootstrapping. MVP is the product version with only core features called minimum viable product, variable product that you have. That's the MVP. Pitch deck is when you reach out to a VC or angel fund with a presentation wherein you show what are you doing it, what is the potential, who is your customer, who are your competition, how are you going to manage your competition, what is the product, your revenue model, your expenditure model, your profitability, all that is called a pitch deck, which you pitch your business for funding. Okay. PM, product market fit, which I've already mentioned. Customers buying as fast as you can build. That means customers are lapping up the product that you are doing. That means your product idea is successful, accepted by the market, and this is where your present customer will also propagate your product with other people. Growth hacking, creativity, innovation for growth. And here growth does not mean or does not restrict to only your revenue. Growth means organization growth. Growth means product portfolio. Growth means different verticals. Growth means human resource growth. Growth means financial growth. Growth means geographical expansion. All that comes into your growth. Wherever you are going from level 1 to level 3 or 4, that's all comes into growth. Inbound, bring customer through valuable content. That is where you call inbound, wherein you provide content through your blogs and other such things, wherein customer read that and then they come to your website and your social media and get engaged with your brand. Retention, measure for customer loyalty. That's what I mentioned in one of my slides, is that the challenge today is customer retention. How do you make your customer keep coming back and using your product or service? Angel, mostly early stage investor, they are in the angel fund, but only they charge a little higher percentage because they come at very early stage. The risk for their capital is very high. VCs, investment fund for growth and growth startup. That is, VCs comes after angel has come in. They look at, you started your business, you started your commercial thing, revenues are coming in. That is where VCs come into picture. Seed fund, first investment. Your seed fund could be from your senior faculty, from your friend, or maybe your uncle and aunt, or maybe your future father-in-law. Could be your seed fund can come from any one of them. Okay. But equity in exchange of effort. Some of them, what they do is that, like me, I'm a marketing consultant. I'm right now mentoring 3 startups. One of them based at Bangalore, one is in Bombay, one is in Chennai. So 3 startup I mentor. I meet them regularly every week. We spend couple of hours online on Zoom. So some of them, or maybe one of them, is not able to pay me in cash. So they say that we are too small, we don't have money. But then, since you are devoting your time and effort in mentoring and guiding us, we'll give you 4% or 2% or 3% of our equity in our company. So tomorrow, if the company grows, the percentage also remains the same, but then the value of your equity grows, and then you can sell it and encash it. So it becomes my challenge to make sure the company grows so that my percentage, the stake that I have, also increases in value. ROI, rate of return as an investment, I need not have to dwell on that. Most of you know that. Okay. And then you have bounce, single page only website there, go off after a couple of minutes of stay. Growth hacking, creative and innovation for growth. How do you look at various options for growing your business? Beta release is the app or the idea that you do, like you have your website where you come out with basic version of your website. That's your beta version. If your app is there and then you have basic version of your app, how do you release that to some of your close friends and associates? That's the beta version of the app. Alpha release, incomplete product version for internal testing. You create a product and you reach out to your friends, your relatives, your parents, and other things. Try them, try and use this app or maybe a website or a product that you have, prototype that you have made. That's where I end my session. This is my contact detail. I'm on LinkedIn heavily. I'm on Instagram. That's my email ID and that's my mobile number. Anybody wants, they can reach out. Okay. Thank you very much to the Institute for providing me the opportunity. Hope I didn't make most of you or all of you sleep. Thank you. I'm open for questions.
See, dear students, if you have any questions, so you can unmute yourself and you can ask, sir, or else you can put your question on chat box. Sir,
What
I
is
have
the
a
minimum budget for a startup? Rahul, thanks for this question, but it is a very relative question. People have started with even 5,000, 10,000 also. People have started with couple of lakhs also. So it depends on your idea. It depends on what you're going to start up. If you are selling a product, then you need to look at it. Your budget could be a little higher because that is where this whole thing comes in, because you need to get into manufacturing. But if you're getting into contract manufacturing, it's a different kind of setup that you have. So the term where you get minimum budget for a startup depends on how you look at it. I have seen startups starting 4-5 years back with a small sum of even 20,000 rupees. It's as low as that also have gone. So it depends on how you look at it. What are you doing it? Okay, so there is no hard and fast rule about minimum budget for a startup. Thank you for asking the question, Rahul B.
Sir, I have one question on behalf of our students. Sure. What are the barriers to entrepreneurship, sir?
Madam, I covered that slide also. The barriers are, availability of the finance is one of the biggest barrier there. If you don't know how to reach out to the potential financier people and they are ready to open, because some of the investor, they are not open to new ideas or new technological breakthrough innovation that you're looking at. Another barrier I will say is the knowledge of the market which is there. So you have the money and you have the inclination to do a startup, but then the knowledge about the market, the product and market is something which is also a barrier. That also there certain time government restriction, government regulation comes in picture. certain time the competition has created a kind of a artificial entry and exit, which is there in the business. So those things are there. There are a lot of barriers which are there besides these also. So technological adoption is also one of the barriers which is there.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any questions from participants end? Feedback link is shared in the chat box. So I request everyone to fill the form. So if there are no questions, I think we can proceed further. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session.
Thank you for having me.
On behalf of Vivekananda Institute of Technology, Department of Computer Science Engineering, and Institution Innovation Council, VKIT, I would like to thank you, sir.
Thank you
For such a wonderful session.
Thank you.
And on behalf of everyone, I would like to thank all the participants for witnessing this webinar. I thank our principal, Dr. Padmanabha sir, for his support and encouragement in conducting such kind of online workshops. I thank our vice principal and president of IIC VKIT for his support and coordination in conducting such events. And I would like to thank all the heads of the departments and members of Institution Innovation Council VKIT for your support and coordination. Once again, I thank everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Participants, please fill the feedback form. Hello. So we will close the session. Participants, you please fill the feedback. Okay. Thank you all. Have a nice day.